Hey guys, I'm Ashley and welcome back to the Lace Spirit Design Studio. So if you are just tuning in, this is part 2 of a 3-part series where I teach you how to design, find manufacturers for, and grade enamel pins. In last week's video, which you can go ahead and rewatch, I taught you how to design enamel pins, some things to look for in what makes a good design for an enamel pin, and how to set up a spec sheet for sending to a manufacturer. In this video, I'm going to teach you how to find a manufacturer and the different types of manufacturers you can look for. The good news is most of the information you'll find in this video will also teach you how to find a manufacturer for more than just enamel pins. But because that's our focus for this video, let's talk about enamel pin manufacturers. But before we dive into everything else, I wanted to let you guys know that if you find my tutorial videos helpful and want to support me in a way that's not subscribing to my Patreon or buying from my online shop, you can always give me a one-time donation through my Ko-fi account, or you could also go and buy from my shops or subscribe to my Patreon, because I make these videos for free to help you guys be successful as artists and small business owners, but of course it is not necessary at all. So let's get into it. Before we dive right in, I want to address the concept of gatekeeping when it comes to manufacturers. Most artists feel strongly one way or another about sharing their manufacturer information, and honestly, I'm kind of in between on it. A lot of people find it rude if you have never interacted with an artist before and you come and ask them where their manufacturer is, and it's just kind of like you've never supported me in any other way. Sometimes they don't even follow you, and you're asking for this information that is pertinent to my business. But on the other hand, I usually don't mind sharing. In some situations, though, I prefer to keep my manufacturer information to myself, and the reason for that is a couple of things. Number one, most of the time, the manufacturers that work for me, especially for enamel pins, will probably not work out for you. In my situation, most of my manufacturers have a handful of B grades, and that actually works for me because I do mystery bags and other things with B grade pins. Second, I firmly believe that if you learn how to find manufacturers on your own, you will be unlocking a world of possibilities for yourself and your business. It's a lot like the saying, give a man a fish, you'll feed him for a day. Teach a man to fish and you'll feed him for life. If you learn how to find a manufacturer for yourself and how to do the research and put in the work, you will be able to find a manufacturer for literally anything you ever want to make for your small business. Now let's get down into the nitty-gritty. There are 2 types of manufacturers you'll come across in your research. Number 1 is middlemen, and number 2 is direct to factory. Bonus number 3 is if you post anything related to pins, you will start getting emails and DMs from factories trying to get you, basically cold calling, trying to get you to work with them. And I have used all 3. Middlemen are going to be the best way to start out because they are a third-party company who will communicate between you and the factory, and they're easy to communicate with, and they try to get you the best prices and quality from the manufacturer themselves, though they will be a little more pricey. Direct to factory can be cheaper, but depending on your rep and the factory, there may be a bit of a language barrier, and if you're just now learning pin terms and don't really know what to ask for, this could be a problem. The most common middlemen websites in my experience are Zap, Wizard Pins, Made by Cooper, and Awesome Merch. Alternately, the most common direct-to-factory manufacturers are Vograce, or what I like to call the manufacturer marketplace, Alibaba. Contacting any of these manufacturers is as easy as emailing the rep or going through their checkout process on their website. So today I would like to focus on teaching you how to use Alibaba. If you've never been to this website before, you can go to alibaba.com, and at the top you will want to make sure you're toggled over to manufacturers rather than products, so that way when you're searching you will see all the manufacturers of the types of items you're looking to make. And it really is as easy as searching for the product you want to make. But today we are focusing on enamel pins, so let's type in custom enamel pins. You'll see a wide variety of manufacturers pop up in the search results, so let's break down what to look for. The first thing you'll want to look for under each manufacturer's name is if they have the verified check mark. This means that they are a verified manufacturer, they've been vetted by Alibaba, and you're most likely not going to get scammed by them. The second most important thing to look for is the button on the left-hand side that says Trade Assurance. With this function toggled on, you will only see manufacturers who participate in the Trade Assurance checkmark. And Trade Assurance really just means that if there's anything wrong with the time frame it takes to ship a product or the quality, and there's some kind of dispute, Alibaba is protecting the buyer against that. 2 more things to look for under the manufacturer's name are the amount of years they've been in business and how many employees they have. I don't hold these things in as high regard as the verified or the trade assurance, but I do like to try and find a manufacturer who's been in business at least more than 5 years and with a higher staff, depending on the type of product it is, usually between 50 to 100 at least. This allows you to know that there's enough people on hand to do quality control, because at least with enamel pins, that's something that's really important, especially if you do not want a lot of B-grade pins. Once you find a handful to check out, click on their profile and it'll take you to their page where you can check their product catalog. Another thing to look out for when you're looking at listing photos of product types is if you see a product photo that looks like it may have come from an artist's website where it's staged, or if it has a watermark on it. If there's anything like that that you see, I would avoid them because it's possible that they are stealing that design. Once you find the product you're looking for or something close, click on the listing. Here you can see more photos, videos, and a price per unit broken down by how much you order. They will generally also have their minimum order quantity or MOQ listed here, though it may be flexible. My favorite way to contact a manufacturer through Alibaba is the chat function. It basically acts like an instant messenger that you can access on your phone as well through the Alibaba app, which is super convenient for communicating if you're away from your computer. When you type your question into the box, it'll typically send some canned prompts to follow and then wait for the manufacturer to respond. I'm in California on Pacific time, so I don't usually hear back from a manufacturer until about 4 to 7 p.m. When I'm on the hunt for a new manufacturer, I usually try to find 3 or 4 different manufacturers to reach out to. That way I can get a breakdown of different prices or specific details that I might be looking for. And it's also just kind of nice to talk to different people and see kind of what the vibe is. But when you do find a manufacturer you like and you get through the whole chat process to get a quote and a time frame that you like, you can ask them to send you a Alibaba invoice link. This will keep your transaction inside Alibaba and give you protection as a buyer. I highly do not recommend you letting your manufacturer talk you out of doing this transaction through Alibaba and leaving the website to do the transaction. Please keep in mind that there will be transaction and tax fees, so the total final cost will be a little bit higher than the quote. Once you get to the checkout screen, there will be different options to pay. Once again, I highly recommend sticking with the PayPal option because then there's no additional fee and you're covered by more buyer protections. Once your invoice is paid, you just wait, which is so fun. Send your files to the manufacturer if you haven't already, and then discuss any concerns or details. Manufacturing enamel pins specifically can take anywhere between 20 to 35 days, and I'll usually give my manufacturer a couple weeks before I check in, just to see what the process is, maybe get some photos or videos of the process, and just to see how much longer you have to wait. And after about a month and some change, you get to do the fun part, unboxing and grading. But that's going to be in another video. If you stuck it all the way out to the end, thank you so much for watching, and I hope part 2 was just as educational and helpful as part 1 was. Again, if you have any questions about the ordering process, about Alibaba in general, or even about any of the other manufacturers I mentioned and didn't discuss, please let me know in the comments. I will be happy to get back to you on those. And don't forget to like this video and subscribe to my channel because next week we are doing the final part of this video where we unbox some new pins and I talk about how to grade pins, what I personally look for, and I'm going to share with you one of my manufacturers. So I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your day, and I will see you next week. Bye!